Hello, welcome. I'm just seeing if it's working. Sounds like it is. I'm not used to this, I usually have a full... Welcome. Great, that looks good. Okay, let's get started. So, in this video, I have my Kia VS wagon. So in the next week or coming weeks or anyway, whatever. Plans for this car is I'm doing my fuel pump. I'm going to the I've got it here. Hang on. There it is. So the Walbro. Going to the Walbro 255 litres per hour pump. I've got the GSS 340. I went with the 340 because one bloke on Facebook said so when I was comparing the 340 and the 342. Doing a video. It's a live stream one, okay. So don't swear.
I'll try not to.
Yeah. So I went with this one because in comparison it's got a centered inlet and much bigger mouth. So if you search a picture for the stock pump for the VS Commodore, it's off center. I'm not sure if it's in line with the outlet or not on this side, but this one has a massive inlet and it's centered. I just think that's a good idea. But this video is not about that. I'm just telling you my plan for the car as to why I'm pulling it apart. So that's happening at some point soon. But today we are going to be working through disassembly of the top end because I have a more healthy supercharger ready to go on. But that's not happening in this video. So in this video we are just going to be talking about disassembly of the top end. So meaning charger off. I need to modify the lower intake manifold, so that's coming off as well, and that's as far as we're going. So if that interests you, stick around. Or if you just want something in the background, be my guest. So there she is. Let's get started. So first things first, I've already done off camera is pull the fuel pump relay out, crank it to release pressure. Now I should be able to just do this. That's a bit of fuel. That's a little bit of fuel. I'm gonna rag. Let's get a rag. Alright, so I'm doing a live stream because I can't be bothered editing, and so this might move fairly slowly. You can skip around if you want. I will not be reassembling today, and I probably won't upload a video of that because these live streams are pretty embarrassing when doing it around your mates. I'm pretty new to the YouTube live streaming, so I don't want to be talking to a camera while I've got a mate over. But while I'm by myself, let's put me online. So there we go. So let that rag soak that up. And this one, there we go. Oh yes, lovely. The fuel lines are probably going to get in. We'll see how far we can go without taking them off, or maybe we can tie them up somewhere. We could probably tie them out of the way over there. There we go, just like that. Cool. All right. So now we're going to work on, let's do an easy thing, we'll take the belts off. So I think that's a 13. Hopefully the lighting is not too bad. I'm just going to look on the computer. Well, I guess it's what I can do. Alright, so you grab out your 13. I think that's that one there. That's a 14. Let's try again. That one there. No, I think it's a 15. Cool. So you do the supercharger one first. And I think it's just as simple as, yep, cool. I take it off the charger. There we go. There we go, that's a charger belt. So it's pretty easy to know how the charger goes back on. But actually, you know what, let's take a photo of all of it. I'm just going to put them back on real quick. There we go, it's not on properly, but anyway, grab your phone, take a photo of the routing of all of your belts. That is that one. Take him off. I'm just going to chuck everything on the roof, I guess, for now. The car needs a paint, so I don't care. I don't care. And take a photo of this one, because it's confusing, it goes all over the place. That's a good photo. Ooh, take it off the idler pulley. I find that the easiest. Never mind. Take it off a couple things. There we go. So I think, yeah, I've got a fairly small belt, so it takes a lot of movement of the tensioner to take this off. There we go. That's that one. So supercharger belt is tiny in comparison, so you shouldn't be worried about swapping, mixing them up. Also, another thing that I want to show you that I would recommend is taking these headlight protectors off at this point. So kind of you don't actually need to touch these. You just lift up the tab there and they slide out. Work it out one at a time. There we go. The reason I say that is last time I actually put this charger on, I snapped it. I've re-glued it since, but it's always going to be snapped now. There you go. I'm going to put that aside. I've also tried to plastic polish, but there's only so much you can do. There you go. All right. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to attempt to keep my work area clean. So let's put these tools away again. It will slow down a fair bit of stuff, but I've got the camera on the tripod on my workbench here in front of my car, and I don't want to be trying to wrestle with the camera while we work around it. Next thing we need is flathead. Put that one away. Alright. What next? What now? What now? Let's move a bit more stuff out the way. Probably should have done this before I started this video. Hey, don't worry, it'll start getting quick soon. It'll start getting quick. That's another reason why I'm not going to record the reassembly, because that takes a long time and it won't really make for an interesting video. Alright, sweet. Let's get back into it. Okay, so we've got the MAF sensor, remove that. Oh, always get my finger when I do that. Now we can remove our entire intake. I've found bits of silicone. I custom made that one out of like a bigger radius. And now it works perfectly. There we go, that comes straight off. That's my K&N big boy. We'll put him probably in the boot. We'll put the stuff in the boot. That'll keep everything neat. There we go, it's in the boot. What's next? We'll get rid of our so open that up, you can hold the butterfly valve itself, I guess, to get both of these off. You can do it by hand. You can do it by hand. A bit painful, but I've just done it. There you go. Now we can release that again. Then you need a flathead to take your cruise control tab off. Just like that. This is all very old, weak plastic, so take your time with it. If your hands get cold, you stop feeling stuff and you make bad mistakes and you can wreck stuff. So keep going back to your heater if you need. Alright, there we go. So now you need a, actually that's, now that I'm here I'm realising that's a pretty bad kink. So I've got this here, this is my reservoir for my water to air cooler. It's kind of in the way of my throttle cable. So I'm going to need to look into that when I reassemble it. But anyway, we're going to take that off. You need a spanner. I think it's we'll go with a 15. Let's try a 15. I'll bring a 14 over as well, just in case. It's a 16 or 17. That's a 16. Try 16 first. There we go. Alright. Put this over there. Alright, so then the throttle kind of like the whole thing kind of twists. You can pull it out like that. There we go. Alright, now that that's clear, tuck it away. Oh yeah, another reason why I'm doing all this is for gauges. So, charger's coming off and the lower intake manifold's coming out as well, because I need to tap in my coolant temperature gauge and my air temp gauge after my water to air cooler. So I've actually got another lower intake manifold for demonstration purposes. So we are going to attempt to tap into okay, so that's the back of the engine, so we'll orientate it this way. So front of the snout is here, right? Front of the snout's here. Here's the back of the motor. That's your thermostat. So on the back surface here, it's actually already been done on this one, but they've gone and tapped in more holes. So that's the point where we're going to tap into, but obviously you can see that that is impossible to do with it in the car. Also, the air temp sensor, I've seen a photo, if you go digging enough on the internet, I've seen a photo of someone put a sensor in here, which is a pretty cool idea, either that one or that one. I would like to do it on that one, because I believe that's where most of the heat will be. That will be the hottest part. So the V is about there, right? In this one, in the car already, I've already done the cutout around here. I'll show you that later. Sorry about my nose. That sounds disgusting. Anyway, I'll blow my nose in a little bit. The reason I want to put it there is there's a cylinder here, so there's going to be enough airflow in this area. There's a cylinder here and here, here and here, here and here. So putting it here, you get the max heat because it's going to be here. Whereas back here, like in theory, there should be the same amount of flow everywhere, but you can't deny that the V is here. So right here will be like the maximum temperature. The water to air, it's a Yellow Terra unit. The Stealth water to air cooler comes all the way out here. So you cut that V out, and here would be the hottest and fastest moving air. It's the hottest because it's fast going through the cooler, so it's not giving itself enough. The air is not having enough time to cool down right in that V. Whereas back here, if there's air pressure on that area and it kind of spreads out over the whole cooler before going through it, this will be the cooler area. So I want to see the worst case scenario, which would be that point there. This point here is at the narrowest point of the V, and it'll kind of be like the middle of the plate. So yes, that's another idea as well. I'm going to discuss it with my mate who's in the automotive world, in the custom world. In that industry, so I'll talk to him about it as well, about which placement we should go with. Either way is really stupid hard, because the plate, the water to air plate sits flush with this surface. So if I put my hand there, look at the gap we have to deal with. We literally have to put it in there, and I want it as straight as possible. I guess we can get away with like going on a little bit of an angle and dropping the center itself a little bit lower. So instead of being like here straight, we can kind of go a bit down like that. Hopefully you understand what I mean, but yeah. So I'm just going to set that back aside over there, and we'll get back to disassembly of the top of my engine. So those are the two sensors that are going in. I've also got an oil temp sensor. I've ordered a sandwich plate that should be coming fairly shortly. In the meantime, let's keep going with disassembly. Alright. Bear with me, I'm just going to blow my nose. Okay, I'm back. Now the most important thing about this process is be calm and don't let anything fall into your engine. The next step we're going to do is remove our fuel rail. So to do that, we're going to... Fuel is going to go absolutely everywhere. What if we Okay, we're going to take the injectors out as well. That way the injectors will hopefully keep the fuel in. We're not going to split the injector from the fuel rail. So that means we have to disconnect the loom. So let's start by disconnecting all the wiring that we need to anyway to get this up and out. So that includes the idle control valve, the throttle position sensor. So those two are on the side of the throttle body. That's that wiring there. We can set that aside. Let's do all these injectors. So the mistake I did earlier when I didn't really completely understand this motor, I used a screwdriver and picked out these metal things. They actually push in. And that's how you can take them off. There, that one's off. That one's off. So this is all these sensors. They come off pretty easy. So that whole side is off already. So that's essentially it. To get the charger off in terms of sensors, it's just those two on the throttle body. And that's it. So, and then for the fuel rail, it's just the injector wiring, and I think that's it. You could probably make your life easier by removing the leads for your spark, and I will be doing that. I've learnt that shortcuts are not worth it. Shortcuts are not worth it. Like really, it'll probably be better if I get rid of these fuel lines, but they are out of the way enough, so we are going to leave them there. Cool, yeah. I probably will also, maybe I can leave the alternator there. I was just talking about don't do shortcuts, you know, to an extent. We are going to remove at least the driver's bank of leads. I think what we'll do is we will number them. We don't need to remove this side, that's fine. We will remove the other side. I'm not actually familiar with the numbering of these pistons, so we're just going to go front to back 1, 2, 3 on that side. I'm just going to put a label on the associated leads. So we're just going to use some paper tape. I've got to find some. I've got to find some first. Alright. Oh, what's this? That'll work. What is this? No. Alright, be right back. Okay, it's not paper tape, but it will do. Get a marker. So I'm just going to go quite simply like so. Just going to put a little bit of tape on here, on the coil. Now we only really need 3 bits of tape on these coils because we're only disconnecting one bank. Right, so we just need to follow these wires. That one's one there. Here goes here. So that is one. And then the second one, that one's that one. Where does he go? He goes over here. 2. And the one in the back. He should go here. 3. Interesting layout, but as I said, I don't really, not really familiar with the firing order, I guess. If I really thought hard about it, I'd probably figure it out. But yeah, well, doesn't matter. That one goes down there, so it's this boy here. So we take him off. We'll take him off the coils, and we're just going to tape on that side. 2 on him, and we put him on there like that, and that's 3. That guy is 3. There we go. And we're just going to leave him connected to the spark plugs. We don't need to take him off the engine that far. Just pull him on through underneath everything. One at a time because there's not enough space down there. And he goes, I've routed it underneath the fuel rail behind the alternator. It's a bit more pretty. And that one there. There we go. Now I've also got a reference line for my rising rate fuel pressure reg. So we're going to take him off as well because he's in the way a little bit. That's as easy as that. He's taking reference from the front of the lower intake manifold here through a T-piece because it also goes to a gauge I've got inside the cabin. So we're going to take that off there too. Oh boy. Oh wow. Oh wow, this is a big job. Okay, I've just had an epiphany, a realization that the coolant has to drop because it goes through the lower intake manifold, and we do have to take off the bracket. Wow, okay. Alright, we'll deal with that later. We can do that after the charger comes off. Yes, we can do that after the charger comes off. Okay, we're going to drop the coolant now because the radiator and the reservoir are slightly above the top of the lower intake manifold. So if we take the charger off, then we might get water coming out into our manifold and into the pistons that are open. So we're going to drop the water now. Yeah, unfortunately that's a pretty shit job. Do I have a tap on this upgraded radiator? I thought I did. I wonder where it is. I didn't really want to lift this car if I can avoid it because I can't be fucked. Okay. Damn. Alright, I'm just going to get a torch and stick my head in there. Where's a torch? Where is a torch? Gotta find a torch. BRB. Nava, sponsor me, please. Alright, so... Okay, so there is no tap there. And there is no tap there. Awesome! So we are going to do our famous... Fuck, that looks crazy. Might get a new lower hose while I'm at it as well. And also because of my bigger radiator, this one has a slight, like, not a kink, but kind of a squashier bend in this point here because of my added, like the stock V6 rad is like that thick and now I'm out here. So that point's been moved, so I might chop a little bit of him off. But yeah, the bottom of that hose, that looks weird. Holy crap. Why do I have 3 hose clamps down there? Ugh, bloody hell. Alright, here goes nothing. So we are going to go ahead with let's do a bit more fun stuff first. Let us get rid of that fuel rail. Yeah. And then we'll worry about the coolant in a little bit. So I'm still working on getting the vacuum hose off the front here. Okay, never mind. We just pulled the T out. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to set him aside right there. We're going to leave the coil pack on, because that's a bit of a bitch to take off as well, and I don't. Oh, we will need to take him off as well. Ooh,
Okay, so I'm having realisation that there's a far bigger job than I thought. I thought I could go to my mate's shop at 9 o'clock and leave at 3 and change a charger out and do my gauge taps. So that's interesting. I've got to call my mate and make sure he knows to bring the taps home when he comes, actually. Just a moment. I'm just going to mute the stream while I call him. Alright, can you hear me? Looks like you can. He didn't pick up, so I'm just going to do a texies. Hey, can you bring taps to mine for the water coolant temp sensor thread and the air temp thread? Question mark. They are different sizes. Full stop. Can you bring water temp sensor thread and air temp thread? They're different sizes. Great, that should be good. Right, okay, so sorry guys, I'm starting to slow down here. I told you I'd be quick. Let's get back into quick, huh? Fuel rail's coming off now. So it's going to be a 13 for the bracket for the alternator, and the alternator does have to come off because the coolant runs through the lower intake manifold to an elbow through the bracket that the alternator is sitting on. So we will need to take all that off. Alright, let's get to it. Right, so that's the bracket. Put all your screws back where you found them. There we go, that's the bracket there. We're just going to put him over there for now. So to leave him out the way. Disconnect the alternator sensor while we're here and thinking about it. This car is going to be sitting here for a while, but I have mentally prepared my parents for that anyway, so we should be fine. I think it's a 10 on the back of the alternator. Hey, you know what? We should probably disconnect our battery, hey? So let's do a little bit of that. We're going to disconnect both terminals just to be extra safe. There we go. Alright, let's keep going. So that is not a 10. Let's try a 12. That's that one there. It is a 12. Is there something I need to do here? Oh, I just broke something. What the hell? What's going on here? Oh, don't bend. What the hell is going on? Let's get my ugga dugga at that. That's weird. I don't know what's going on there. that was bullshit. What the hell happened there? Oh god. Okay. All my plastic broke off. That's a new alternator too. What the? Okay. We're going to put some grease on that next time it goes back on. But there's kind of like two nuts here, one in the back, and so one, actually, I can just grab you because I think I've got enough wire. Cool. Alright, let's go show you what I mean. So see there? Can you focus? Focus? We're not really focusing too well, but that's a nut there. I need to tighten that. Then there was the terminal and another nut here holding the terminal on onto that. So we're going to, I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, while we're thinking about all this, we are going to put some Loctite on that one and then tighten him down. And then I'm going to put grease on the other one. Not grease, but like electric grease. Yeah. Alright, just going to get the toolbox out. Yeah. I was packed up all ready to go to my mate's shop today, but plans have changed. Okay, where's my Loctite? Where's my Loctite? Oh, I think I've run out. Alright, let's see if my dad has any.
On your phone. I heard someone call me. Alright, I found purple. Better than nothing, I guess. See if it picks up. Hello, how you doing? Woo! Send you a... Yeah, big... Okay, yeah, we also need a small one. The water temp is the same as an oil temp gauge sensor. Yeah, probably. Give me a sec. Just gotta find the instructions again. There it is, that's the instructions. Where is the number? Water temp, 1/8 NPT.
1/8 NPT. And the other one's definitely 3/8.
Air intake. It doesn't actually say. No, it doesn't say. What do you got? 3/8.
Yeah. Well, it looks exactly the same
Yeah.
as what I have, so
Yeah, sounds
it should
about
be the
right.
same.
Yeah. And so, do you have a 1/8 NPT somewhere?
I'm going to go back into work. I haven't actually left yet.
Okay, great.
I
Yeah.
think they have a 1/8 NPT.
That'd be fucking sick.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
I'll see
man.
if I can get the drill bits as well because it's a
Yeah.
certain size.
Yeah. True. All right. Thanks, Brando. Cool. I'll see you in a little bit then.
Alright, so
All right. See you. Bye. Sick. Okay, so thing is, when my mate gets here, I'm going to stop the stream because I can't do this while he's here because that's pretty embarrassing. And he doesn't want to be online either. So I'm still going to try and get as much as I can done now. Hopefully we can get the charger off. That shouldn't be too much drama. And then I'll see if I can just like walk you through how the lower intake manifold can come off. It does look like the entire alternator and alternator bracket needs to come off. You need to dump your coolant. Your coils will have to come off. That's minimum. Then there'll probably be more stuff. There probably will be more stuff. But anyway, so for now, what we're going to do, I'm just going to unscrew him a little bit. I'm going to put some purple on that thread there. Oops, I should probably mix him up first. There we go. I do not know how old this stuff is. Alright, let's see if we can get a little bit more on him now. Cool, good. Let's crank him down. That looks like maybe a 16. Maybe a 16. Cowabunga. You know what? That's a 15. Can I use this? Alright, let's crank him down with this. Just going to feel with my hand. That feels good there. Okay. We're also going to repair this terminal. I don't know why that bent like that. It's really shit. Let's hope I don't break him right now. Alright, that's good enough. That will do. Cool. So we're going to let that Loctite do its thing there. We are now going to try and keep the alternator on the bracket because I've had trouble with this nut here spinning the I can just show you. Oh, sorry. That one there I'm talking about. I've had trouble spinning this like captive thing in this cast, and you can see that I've actually added some washers in there to try and push this thing in there as far as possible. So we're going to leave this bolt. This bolt here not only holds the alternator on but also goes through into the head, so this one will need to come off, yada yada yada. What did I say? We're going to do that now? No, we're not going to do that now because that involves dumping coolant. We're just going to continue with disassembly of the stuff on top. You know what? How long have we been going for now? This is probably making a fairly crap video. We're 45 minutes in, and I've been talking about removing the fuel rail for the past 45 minutes. Let's actually do something about that, hey? We are ready to come off. There is a vacuum line going to the pressure reg, the stock pressure reg. So as you may notice, I'm running both the stock and an aftermarket one. The aftermarket one is actually doing everything, and the stock one is essentially
it is still working, it's still functioning, it's still doing what it's meant to, but like we're not actually using that pressure. We've upped the pressure a little bit just by using this thing. This is still there just because that's the easiest thing to do. Additionally, this car is not tuned. It's going in for a tune soon. That's why the newer charger is going on at this point. He says that when he's done tuning it, we won't need this. This is the rising rate fuel pressure reg. We can take that off completely. Yeah, so we'll do that later. For now, it's staying on because we're not tuned yet, and then we'll go back to this thing being in use. But for now, we're going to remove the reference line for the stock pressure reg off there. All of these lines are disconnected. When we take it up, we just need to avoid bumping into the valve for the bypass, and there's nothing really we need to worry about on that side of it. Yes. All right, let's go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, one on top. That one over there is missing because you can't use it now with the Yellowterra water to air cooler, which I didn't think, I don't like, which I don't like. There's a fair bit of flex there versus like over there rock solid. Fair bit of flex there. I'm not a fan of. Oh, and by increasing the pressure in the rail, that would make that worse as well. But it doesn't look. I never smelt fuel, so that seems to be working. Yeah, I guess while we're here, we're kind of talking about the Yellowterra water air cooler. It comes with the spacers that you need for the stock rail for the injectors. I was actually running a aftermarket like log style fuel rail, one, and then like a line that goes under the charger and on top here. But this actually works fine, which I've heard through research and in my experience as well. So we're sticking with the stock fuel rail. I didn't like the look of all this metal going over the top, but since I've painted it black, it looks okay. Cool, so we are going to take that off now, and the injectors should lift with it because I've got all of the injector holding bracket things. So let's get that off. I've used Allen key head bolts everywhere to make it look pretty. But now we have to use Allen keys. So let's see how easy this stuff comes off. So it's size 6, that's cool. Oh, okay. Never mind, we've just got the one on top here. The other ones down below are all M10, or maybe smaller. Not sure. So we'll take him off. We'll set him aside just here. Cool thing about this radiator, it's a Wally V8 VS upgraded rad. So I'm running really cold. I'm running too cold actually. I've made the V6 rad work on it by making my own brackets. It's not my proudest moment, but if it works, whatever. What's that nut for? We're going to put that back on the back of the alternator before I forget what that's for. That's cool. Always remember to put your stuff back if it doesn't need to be hanging around. Okay, so we need the extension, and I think those are M10 nuts. No, it's not. They're 8. So I think I'm still using the stock hardware for securing the fuel rail to the head. Oh no. Why is that spinning funny? That feels weird. Oh, I think they're squashed nuts. Okay, so they're going to feel weird all the way up. Oh, that feels disgusting. Ew, like it's cross-threaded. Is it? No, okay, it's coming up right. It's coming up as expected. Interesting. It's not cross-threaded, they're squashed nuts. That's what they did to have lock nuts in GM in the 90s. Makes sense, I guess, and I haven't had one of these nuts break on me, so if it works, it works. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh dear. Okay, so right now, the kit also came with standoffs to lift the whole rail up from the mounting on the lower intake manifold as well, with the Yellowterra kit, and that little standoff is coming up with the fuel rail pushing up that corner, so that's pretty annoying. Also, one of those standoffs actually broke with the Yellowterra kit, so if you get the Yellowterra Stealth water air intercooler, try and source new ones of those standoffs for the fuel rail, because it broke. I messaged them and I'm like, hey, it came off in my head, what the fuck. Lucky it was on the corner. It came off in my lower intake manifold. Lucky it was actually the corner that the hose was, so we actually can't use that side anyway. I think I was just testing it, but yeah, it was very scary putting the other ones in. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. Another one in the back here. Alright, that feels better. I don't know. Here we go. Yet again, we're pulling up the standoff. So the whole rail is coming up now at this point. I don't like that. Oh, this one I can do by hand. Okay, so whatever I said about squash nuts, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. Alright, here we go. So this is the tricky bit. There we go, I've got the nut. That's good. That's good. I'm going to set him aside on my radiator. I'm going to keep going with getting him off. We can probably take the ratchet off now. I'm just going to say everything because I don't know how to fill time while I do this. Alright, he's a bit stiffer, so we're just going to get the long boy. Yeah, so the whole standoffs are coming up with it. Whatever. We'll figure that out later. So when we put this back together, I'm going to use blue Loctite. But if we don't have any, yeah, that's going to have to wait for tomorrow when all the shops are open. It is Good Monday today, so nothing is open. Oh, is it? Are the shops open today? Anyway, whatever. So I think that can come off now. Okay, so we're hard up against the stud here for the alternator bracket. So this side actually has to come off first and kind of go that way. No stress, no worries. Okay, so the standoff is actually pushed. The standoffs coming out on that side has actually pushed all those injectors up by themselves. So we're just going to wiggle this side and see if we can get this out as well. Here they come. There they go. Very cool. That side's up. We've got plenty of room to play around on this side now. Okay, something's catching on us. There we go. Something is still stopping us from going up. We're still connected on this side. That's a lot of thread actually on that. Ah, there we go. Ah, okay. Here we go, we're coming up, that's it. That is still full of fuel, so we're just going to be careful with that. I'm just going to set that down. You don't really want to put it down on the injectors, but I'm just going to grab a rag. Couple rags and put it down like that. I'm going to put it under the camera. Just going to get another rag.
There you go, Mr. Camera. You are now responsible for my injectors. Lovely. You sit down there. Okay, so let's figure out. Alright, we'll deal with that later.
That is very annoying. That's rather yucky. Whoa, don't drop him. I need a magnet. Magnet on a stick. Magnet on a stick. There you are. No, that's my mirror on a stick. Where's my magnet on a stick? Where's the magnet? So this is how it works, right? This is how the kit works. You got that. You got your stud. You got your, what is that? You're not going to be able to see, but anyway. And then that goes into the standoff. So you're meant to tighten this into the block. We're going to use Loctite on that in another day, another time. I'm going to worry about that later. All right, what do we got now? Yeah, cool. So fuel rail's off. Supercharger can now come off. But we're going to drop the coolant. Thanks to anyone who's watching, but for those, I'm deleting this. All I'm saying is I'm deleting this after. There's no point recording this. Anyway, let's get going. Let's dump some coolant, hey? Jeez. I think we're going to push the car outside to do that. Yeah. Alright, let's push car. We can put that back in there. And this one back there. Dad? Yeah. Can I get you to jump in my car? Sorry? Can I get you to jump in my car? Yeah. I'm going to push it out onto the road and dump the coolant, and then we'll push it back up in here.
Dump the coolant.
Yeah, can't be bothered.
Oh, there's the other keys.
Yeah.
Where'd you have them?
They're in my car. I'm going to borrow them.
Yeah.
You weren't meant to be back here this today.
Thanks. Yeah, should we put the steer?
Just steer.
Yeah, I'll push. Yeah, we've got no battery, so I'm just going to have to scream out to you. Essentially what I want is the front of the engine off our driveway, like on the concrete, at the letterbox, you know what I mean?
On the concrete.
You want to, so the front of the engine.
Big radiator.
Yeah. Capture. I'll put it down the train. Or we'll put it in the grass and spread it. I don't think coolant kills grass. What can you capture?
Car's too low, I can't fit anything under it. Is that concreted in?
Yeah. Well, just dump it.
Oh, do we have a cutter? Do we have a gutter cut off or something?
The other colour.
A gutter cut off. Cut off of gutter.
that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what we can do. Usually I open the channel sometimes. Yeah. You'll find that.
This piece here. This bit. I'll chop them up. Like just there. So I can float out. Cool. Thanks.
Sorry, I forgot about you. I'm going to stop this recording now because it's a bit dumb, and it's a lot of just annoying trying to figure out how to get rid of the coolant without making a mess. So, bye.